Even under ideal weather conditions, life in Ethiopia is hard. Poverty is rampant, luxuries few. In 2000, drought left the herders of the Borena zone struggling to survive. Livestock numbers were dwindling, and the ponds dried up. The once lush landscape was littered with animal carcasses, and the earth was parched and barren. Oxfam responded to the drought by looking at creative ways to help get water to the people. The 5 hours round-trip walk to get water had taken a toll on the women and girls. And fuel costs and poor access to the villages made it impossible for trucks to do the job. So Oxfam took an innovative approach, and the solution came in a grumpy, spitting form. Oxfam purchased 100 camels. Each one, every day, was able to haul 200 liters of water over an area of 15 miles through the most remote landscape. Thanks to the camels, the thirsty people got their water. Today, the camels continue to change the lives of the villagers in an unexpected way. After the immediate crisis passed, herders began using the camels to plow their fields, providing a new source of livelihood.
Using camels to provide water is typical of Oxfam's approach. We're innovative and we're resourceful. We have to be to keep our administrative costs low and to get the most for every dollar given to us. It's remarkable to think that in this day and age, 1/3 of our fellow human beings are forced to live on less than $2 a day. The gap between rich and poor is actually growing, and climate change is creating unprecedented weather conditions, forcing even more into poverty. We're so grateful to our many loyal and generous supporters who have witnessed so much of our growth as an organization for more than 35 years in America, and for more than 60 years since Oxfam's founding in Great Britain. Oxfam's primary goal is to fight poverty. We do that by responding to emergencies, also by tackling tough issues and speaking up when nobody else will. We also address poverty through a human rights lens. And all the while, we have maintained our independence by not accepting any funding that will restrict us. We know traditional relief work is vital and must continue. It can reach hundreds of thousands of people. But when literally hundreds of millions are actually in need, it's time to add some new tools. So after years of strategic planning and preparation, we're now ready to take on one of our biggest challenges to date. Our first ever campaign to provide $50 million in critical new investments over 5 years. And here's how we'll use it.
In the developing world, roughly 75% of rural people have no access to any bank or legitimate lender, especially if they are women. That's one of the many reasons that 70% of the world's poorest people are women and girls. Through our Saving for Change program, Oxfam helps poor people in remote areas of Mali and Cambodia learn about secure ways to save and borrow money. Saving for Change works by turning groups of roughly 20 friends and peers into a savings and lending circle. This one in Cambodia is called the Happy Life Savings Group. All members contribute equally to the group. Some groups require a contribution of only a few cents a week. Then, when a member of the circle needs a loan, the group decides whether or not to approve it, the interest rate, and the payment terms. A loan request for only a few dollars is not unusual. Seng Sunla is a Cambodian mother of 4. A rice farmer and a member of the Happy Life Savings Group. Recently, she was able to borrow money to help her family.
Before, we had a difficult life, as we had little money. I had many ideas and wanted to run several activities. At the time, we had to take our rice to another village to get it milled. It's quite far from here. This is when I joined the savings group. With my loan, I was able to buy a small rice mill to run in the village. Now, people bring their rice here to be milled. I think that in the future, I will have more savings.
Oxfam expects to reach 1 million women in 10 years. By investing in women through Saving for Change, women will invest in their families and communities to make them stronger. Poor people are often pushed onto depleted lands where they must survive using scarce local resources. In East Africa, it had finally rained after months of drought. But the crisis was far from over. The death of animals had left many without income, and the price of food remained higher than normal.
We have our cattle, we live on them. When it rains, we get their milk and we raise our children. Now we have lost our cattle and only God knows what will happen. We don't know how we are going to survive.
To help the people earn money, Oxfam is working with 450 members in the town of Moyele to rehabilitate 3 ponds. More than 11,000 people will benefit from this project and will continue to do so in the years to come.
This is the paid labor. They will be paid for what they have done. Since they have lost their asset, this is one means of helping them to get something to live on.
Oxfam's work in the Moyele area is just one way we strive to create economic opportunity. For the coffee farmers of Central America, West Africa, and Ethiopia, we're working to help obtain fair prices and gain access to business education and skills. In 2001, coffee prices fell to a 30-year low, creating a crisis for 25 million families in over 50 countries.
What I have seen is misery, lack of minimum resources for the survival.
Since the prices fell, Oxfam has been working with roasters, governments, and consumers to take action. The result has been an average increase of 60% in fair trade coffee imports to the United States. The price of coffee has improved, but the market is volatile, so the crisis is not yet over. Oxfam will continue working toward a world in which farmers can count on a decent income, despite the wild booms and busts of the marketplace. Oxfam is a world leader in disaster response. But in December 2004, when the tsunami swept across the Indian Ocean, it triggered the largest output of aid in history. Oxfam staff and partners responded immediately, providing life-saving clean water and sanitary facilities that helped prevent a predicted outbreak of disease. Later, we helped people rebuild their lives by supplying tools and initiating cash for work programs. Oxfam hired people to build temporary shelters.
Some have lost properties, some have lost lives, but there are a number of families who have lost their livelihoods. Like their fields have been inundated with saline water, or they've lost their boats and nets. So everyone in some or the other sense in this village is affected. And so this new livelihood option for these youth, I think it's a good contribution of Oxfam.
Less than a year later, another devastating disaster.
Oxfam America came in and they have really been a vital support.
Hurricane Katrina. For the first time in Oxfam's history, we launched a relief effort in the United States. Some disasters are man-made. The displaced people of Darfur have escaped fighting between armed groups and the government of Sudan. They are desperate for food, clean water, and shelter. Oxfam has helped hundreds of thousands of people from Darfur by digging wells, erecting water storage tanks, laying water lines, building latrines, and distributing basic items like water jugs. Our goal is to provide at least 4 gallons of water a day per person. We don't know what the future holds for disaster survivors, but Oxfam will be there to support them. Not only will we help in the immediate crisis, but we'll stay to help people rebuild their communities, restore their livelihoods, and move beyond poverty. And for more vulnerable communities that are regularly devastated by natural disasters, Oxfam will help them prepare in advance so they suffer less loss and recover more quickly. This is one of Oxfam's focuses for the future.
With $50 million in new money over 5 years, the campaign for Oxfam America will have a significant impact for many people. In this campaign, we are reaching out to our closest friends and our most loyal supporters. We know how much you care about this work and about the millions of poor people whose lives are improved because of Oxfam's programs. Please join with us in this campaign.